Tommy Emmanuel always says, that when you play the show and people are asking, when are you coming back? Then you did a great job,
Yeah.
But if they say like, okay, it was a good job or something, then probably not as.
Or if they don't make eye contact with you after. Yeah. That's always a bad idea. It's like, hey, how are you? They're like looking at the ground. Yeah, I mean, I always bring up the comedy thing, but when I was doing the comedy thing, they were so ashamed. Like if you bombed, they always talked about bombing in their comedy shows. Like it was the whole bit was about bombing. And then you got a guy like me that really bombed and they were ashamed of me. They wouldn't even, they're just like looking at the ground. They're like, I don't want to hang out with this guy. That's just going to rub off on me. So they're like, no, like other comedians.
Oh, the other comedians.
That's what I was saying. The musicians seem relatively supportive, Comedians, if you suck as a comedian, they hate you. Yeah. I mean, it's an anecdotal thing because I've only done it a few times.
I've heard that too, like from interviews with stuff like being in the scene in the Laugh House or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my next comedy thing is just gonna be making fun of comedians the whole time. Little bitches giving me a hard time. Fuckers. Welcome to the Mike and Moses show. 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 The kitchen. Welcome to the show. We have Adam, and Adam is a singer-guitarist out of Hamburg in the local scene.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Why don't you just tell us a little bit, I guess we can start this off. You can just tell us a little bit how you got started playing your instrument. Because you're pretty attached to your guitar, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing the piano. I started when I was 8. I think I picked up the guitar when I was around 14.
You picked up at it right away, or were you more a piano guy when you first started?
I was more a piano guy for sure. I started playing out classical, like Beethoven. So I always wanted to learn like the difficult pieces. I didn't want to wait doing practices. I just wanted to play Beethoven and Bach. Italian Concerto, one of my favorite pieces from him.
But how did you fall into that kind of style of playing? Is that from the piano kind of?
No, I know a friend of mine, he always was listening to Tommy Emmanuel. And then I was hearing this sounds how to play like with artificial harmonics, like it's called the Cascadian. And then and when I first heard it, I just wanted to learn, but it took really long to really be clean, have a clean sound because you need to press like 3 strings with one finger and with the other finger 2. So it's challenging to hold the chord first of all, and then really be precise on the right hand because you need to have the right positions in order to make the overtone.
Yeah, when you're playing, it almost looks like you're just tapping on the high notes with your fingers to make these overtones. It almost looks like a magic trick, like you're like, magic is happening.
Yeah, the first one, I thought it was magic.
You use kind of the half of the string. There's a position where you can have the overtone of an octave, and then you put the index finger on it, and then with the thumb you pick it, and then it makes this beautiful harp sound.
What was the name of your band as a
that band was called The Educators.
The Educators,
Yeah.
Nice.
That's close to the Givers.
Yeah.
Got the same feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started a band. We're calling ourselves the Givers.
Yeah, it's like a loose collective. I guess you're officially part of the Givers too.
Yeah.
Technically, on the guitar, where did you go to? You went to guitar university for guitar or something?
No. I had a teacher when I was 18. I was there for like 1, 2, 3 years, and then also been part of a jazz band. And then later on, I studied systematic musicology in Hamburg and in Norway. And then I did a master's. And the thing is about musicology that it's more like theoretical than practical. But in Norway, I was only taking practical courses because they had this offer there. So I just wanted to play, I just wanted to learn how to play. Yeah.
And do you speak Norwegian also?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this song, this Jeg elsk, I can't say it.
Yeah, it's called Jeg elsker dette livet. It translates as I love this life, and I mean this particular life that I used to live in Norway, because being in nature all the time, studying what I wanted to study, and having beautiful bath in the fjord. So that was really what I loved the most,
Yeah.
being in the nature and just being happy.
And a lot of your songs, they feel happy.
Yeah, I have like in the verse, I'm always more in the darker kind of side of life, and then I always want to turn it into like a positive message, like in the song "Back to Myself," for instance. I'm explaining how I felt, how challenging life has been, and always trying to find this solution. That there's this place where you can be yourself and really be living the life that you are supposed to live.
You also have kind of an attachment to Michael Jackson a little bit. Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that from your childhood, or like all of us, or?
Yeah, like all of us, right?
We love Michael Jackson.
If you were born after 1960, and you know Michael Jackson,
exactly.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I mean, I grew up in the '90s, and then I remember the time when he was in Hamburg. Like I think it was '96. I was a kid, and I just remember how the whole energy of the city changed. Even as a kid, I can notice there was something different than it used to be. And I always, loved the songs. And then later on, I also discovered the more meaningful, or like deeper songs like Childhood, where he's singing about his childhood that he never had, about all the judgment and all that. So, I can really totally relate to that in some way.
Yes, it's funny, the appeal that Michael Jackson had as a kid that we were just talking about, because that was my thing too. Like my first album I wanted to buy, maybe you, because we're the same age, is Thriller.
Yeah, yeah.
My first record was Thriller, and it was I love those songs.
My first album I bought was Don Ho, Tiny Bubbles.
Oh yeah, well Don Ho, yeah.
I don't know if anybody else besides you and I know
Tiny bubbles in my wine.
That's right. But he probably knew Don Ho though.
He had a chimp called Bubbles though.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's the tie-in. That's why.
That's the tie-in.
We're gonna tie in Bubbles this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Who else kind of influenced your music?
Definitely have to say Mozart, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, all the classicals, because as a kid I was only listening to classical. I was playing classical, and I grew up listening to like audiobooks about the biography of Mozart and Beethoven, and I was Schubert and all of them, Brahms, Schumann. There's so many great, and and even Michael, he used to listen to Tchaikovsky. He said that like in every, like the Nutcracker Suite, that every song in it is a killer. He said, and that he wanted to create like an album that had like only hits. Like
this must come from piano, probably. And the songs that you were playing on the piano, is that what influenced you, like classical music?
Yeah, for sure. And then later on, I was starting to listen to the Beatles a lot, like when I was 14, 15. And I probably was the only kid, at that time. Nobody was listening to the Beatles in the 90s or 2000s. It was kind of strange, I think, to most of the other kids. I was listening to Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder, Jason Mraz, of course, and John Mayer.
You hung out with Jason, right?
Yeah, I had the honor to meet him.
You had his concert
a couple of times. Yeah. I mean, I knew someone who kind of introduced me to him, and then we started to hang out in his camper van. It was really a great time jamming, and he started to freestyle. It was a fantastic time. After the show, we were backstage, and then I just asked him, you want to come to the camper van later on? And he was like, yeah. Go, and I will be there in an hour or something. And I was like, okay, he's not going to come. And then an hour later, someone knocked on the door, and it was Jason, yeah.
And you guys have similar styles in music, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's really been an influence, like, especially like the We Sing, We Dance, We Still Sing Things. That was the album that really was my favorite one still. I went to a couple of shows, and I remember it was 2009 when I went to a show in Philadelphia. At that time, I hadn't met him before, but it was really a magical concert in a big stadium. And then he was playing for like 60 minutes on the main stage, and he left the stage, and everyone was like, okay, that's maybe the end of the show. And then he appeared on the other side of the stadium on a small stage, like acoustic, and then he played an acoustic set, and like in one moment, 30,000 people turned to the other side, and that was like
Nice.
an amazing moment, when so many people turn in the same moment around.
Yeah. Wow. You've played also some bigger venues, right?
Yeah.
And you've also done the thing going out and busking. So you've hit a lot of different levels of where you're performing, who you're performing for. How is that? How are all these differences for you?
It's really amazing feeling to play in front of 1,000 people. That was probably the biggest crowd, like in Große Freiheit 36. It was the one, and just having your sound through the speakers, like it's on another level. It's just so different than like small stages because the energy, and you don't really have to play it. You just have to feel it. Just plays by itself, basically. But I really, I've been playing also like living room concerts, and really amazing, when we can really explain about the songs behind the stories behind the songs, and it's really also very special when people are really listening and it's really quiet. And on the street, it's also like sometimes can be like a concert when like hundreds of people stop. I remember playing on Jungfernstieg in Hamburg 2019, 18, and then we're like 200 people stopping because once there's like a little crowd, it starts to get bigger and bigger, and then you felt like the pressure to perform. Because on the street, it's the easiest way to get a crowd is always to play like established songs, and then I would always wanted to play my own songs, so sometimes I would start with like songs everybody knew, and then once I had a crowd, I would play my own songs,
Yeah.
The 1,000 people you played to at the Große Freiheit, how'd that happen? Was that a festival or was it?
And this happened that somebody on the street asked me if I wanted to support this band, this, that happened quite a couple of times that people started to ask me if I wanted to play at venues by seeing me on the street. So that was the biggest show I played through this street performance.
Yeah, that's really got to build your confidence up a little bit when people are responding that well to you on the streets, right?
Yeah, I mean, at that time I was so into the game that it felt natural to perform. That it was easier for me to play music than going and buy groceries. So this is a song that came to me in a dream. It's called Like a Hurricane, and it's something like that. When I let you into my car, I didn't know where to go. You are. Your face was covered in a long black veil. I asked if you would point the way to the trail. You said, anyway, it's good for me, yeah. I answered, let's just drop and we will see. But then you turned to me, I pressed me on. I hit the gas and I picked up the speed. You hit me like a hurricane. Every time you look my way, I try my best to grab a hold, but I lose control. Driving on a highway in a different world, but your beautiful soul sitting next to me. If the will just a dream or a miracle, I don't know. I don't care, feeling spiritual. Working on a Friday, working on a weekend, kept on drowning in the deep end. And I'm here with you, girl, and I wasted no more time. Anyway, it's good for me, yeah. I answered, let's just drive and we will see. But then you turn to me, I press me on. I hit the gas and I pick up the speed. You hit me like a hurricane. Every time you look my way, I try my best to grab a hold, but I lose control. That's right. Anyway, it's good for me, yeah. I answered, let's just drive and we will see. But then you turn to me, I rise me. I hit the gas and I pick up some speed. You hit me like a hurricane. Every time you look my the song is really about a spiritual meeting with some spirit, and it's when you meet someone, you feel it right away that it's like someone special, and then it's the scenery behind the song is like that I'm like driving down a highway in Death Valley, and then I'm seeing this figure at the end of the road, and then and I can't see the face, the face is covered with a long leg veil, and then the person enters the car, and then the moment when the wind blows the veil away, then you can see the eyes for the first time, and then it hits you like a hurricane.
Do you mostly write your songs, or do you play a lot of covers? Or
no, I mostly write songs. Covers. I do a couple, but I always wanted to write and play my own songs. It's the best. I feel more like connected to it. Of course, I came out of my soul, or I feel like the songs came to me. Like that one came to me in a dream. I was like seeing the movie in the dream, and then I also heard the melody, and then I wrote it down when I woke up. So then that doesn't happen that often, but I mean, it's truly amazing when it happens. I don't plan it to happen. I don't sit down and say, I'm going to write a song. It's just, I practice, and sometimes it just happens. Then I'm like recording it right away. And basically, I mean, the first idea is the right idea. You don't have to change anything because that's the purest, the melody is there. But writing the lyrics can be challenging, I feel like. Because I feel like the melody is always the king, and then because it's like you don't change the melody, but the lyrics need to be like having a synergy with the music, and that's for me it can be very challenging.
Do you have it where you just start singing and the lyrics come out too at the same time with the music? It's almost like a one-off kind of thing.
That happens too. Yeah, I'm singing a song. I'm like already like singing words subconsciously. I'm recording it, and I listen to it, and I hear. Okay, I'm like the intuition leads me to sing already what the song is about. I always know what I actually want, what the main topic is with most of the songs. Yeah, I feel it because mostly it's something that just I felt like my soul needed to express. I feel like the lyric is very important. I mean, obviously it is to me. I'm like taking a lot of time, but I want it to be on the same level like the music is, because I feel like the music is perfect already, and I want like the words to be perfect as well. Like really having this like the best songs when you feel like this every word is felt and on the right tone, on the right note,
to have the full impact of it.
Yeah,
right?
And also like the emotional development throughout the song, and having that also in the words. That's where it's the best to work with other people, when you're stuck, and then someone can help you with that. Yeah.
The music is almost for me like a vehicle for the words themselves, just something to put the words on top of. I mean, how much emphasis do you give it? Do you give it 50-50 with music and words? Or is it the words more important to you?
I feel like, the music I think it's like 60-40, I would say, 60 music. But, the thing is, it is important that I mean it, I don't sing. It's hard for me to sing something when I don't mean it, So I just want to say something in music that it's so honest that it's very challenging to say it, But if you sing it, then it's easier. That's the kind of lyric that I want to write. Yeah.
Do you write prose or poems and stuff like that, or just strictly songs?
No, I write strictly songs. Yeah. I would like to have more knowledge about the craft of writing. So I'm open to learn more about it, because it's a craft. You can really do a lot of, like with the music. I know the craft in music, but like in writing, I feel like there's a room for improvement. It's the best to learn from other people, who know how to do it.
Yeah. Mike is actually a good writer. He's coming up with lyrics just ridiculously left and right.
I feel like I'm a writer first. I started off as a writer.
I feel like your approach is the opposite of Adam's. So like you're like heavy lyric wise, and you're more heavy melody. The music and the lyrics also have to fit, and for you the music also has to fit.
Yeah, but that's where it's good when we have, like you were saying, about having community and people to bounce stuff off of.
Yeah,
because feedback is amazing, right? Otherwise, you're just in a loop in your own head and you never really push forward, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Like we always learn from each other. Everyone has like a specific talent, and then you start working on it, like, and then practicing guitar, vocals, whatever, But it's challenging to have talents like in many fields, I think. Or I think complimentary talents. That's great when people are complimentary. Maybe I can play a song. I could play a song that I wrote about a childhood experience. When I was 5 years old, I found a little bird lying in the grass. He couldn't fly anymore.
Yeah.
And then I brought him home. I fed him, and and he started to. After a couple of days, he started to fly around the apartment, and then he was shitting everywhere.
Time to send it back out in the world.
I knew, at that time, I knew he's ready for the wild again. I opened the window, he jumped, and then he looked at me, and I felt like he said thank you. And I wrote the song about that. What a child can do, help a bird, So imagine what we could do as humanity. We can always heal and heal the world.
I was 5 and now when you had a broken wing. I brought you home to fix your wing. You cried and you were scared. I looked at you, looked at me. We both understood there's nothing more than love, and you flew away. And as the time went by, I was put in a dark place. Honestly, you never knew why I had to go through all this pain. So I asked you, do you know my life is all about? Do you know what we are living for? Do you know what your life is all about? Do you know what we are living for? Sometimes I get lost and no one's by my side. I look around and I feel weird. I cry and I'm so scared. Is this the life that I would choose if you were by my side? There's nothing more than love, and you flew away. There are times when I am down, and I wish I was that bird to fly away and never come back. So tell the faith, the truth. There's so many things that you would do if you were by my side with me. I wish you were here with me. Do you know what human life is all about? Do you know what we are living for? Do you know what human life is all about? Do you know what we are living for? Oh, now the price we have to pay for freedom in this world, but we never have a clue. Oh no, sometimes I look for you, your bird's eye of you. Do you know what your life is all about? Do you know what we are living for? Do you know what your life is all about? Do you know what we are living for? Do you know what we are living for? Do you know? Do you know what we are living for?
Thanks. The wish is that, like, people that are close to me, people that I know, that we as a community, we grow and we can develop or to the person we're supposed to be, and really having a beautiful community where you can thrive has been always one of the biggest wishes I had, because especially the last years, I went through a very challenging time, and not having a community and the pandemic and everything that came with that collapsing really was a low point. And I feel like that now I'm rebuilding and having meaningful relationships with people. Yeah, we're human beings, not human doings.
Thanks for being on the show, Adam.
Thank you for having me.
Adam Brixton.
Oh, I forgot to push record.
The Mike and Moses Show.
Yeah, did you do the Welcome to the Mike and Moses Show, though?